You go, Tim.
Thank you.
You go, Tim.
Okay. Man, it's been a while since I've had frosted flakes. That's some good stuff.
Good morning, everybody. It's Zach Eats Breakfast. I'm Zach. This is my breakfast. This is my milk. This is my guest, Tim. That's his breakfast. That's his milk. Tim's here with his book, Red Flag.
Yeah, Red Flag and Other Poems.
Other poems. Do any of them have to do with other kinds of flags?
Not particularly.
Mostly just red ones.
Yeah.
Metaphorical red flags, I would assume.
It's definitely like warning signs.
Not like a Chinese flag.
No, I do mention that that there's red in certain flags, but like for countries like America and whatnot.
We do have red in our flag. We have a few other colors. I can't quite remember what they are. We don't talk about it often enough. I kind of went the disposable route today. I don't normally go the disposable route. I wasn't entirely sure what cereals I had or if I had milk that was still good. So stopped by the gas station, which is just a really fancy gas station. A gas station. Let's see, red flags and other poems. Got a big old anti-swastika thing. That's good. I'm not a big fan of them there Nazis myself.
Yeah.
Odd, we're running into those again in 2018. I kind of thought that those didn't exist anymore, but I guess that's why they were able to exist. People don't look for them. Can't find things you ain't looking for.
Yeah, they can be very secretive. They've changed the names or wear a different face in public. But you have to look out for those things. You don't want history repeat itself.
I had a fella come into Dairy Queen I was working at a few months ago. He had a big old swastika tattoo on his arm and an SS button on his jacket, and I didn't want to help him. He was very, very polite, but that don't mean anything.
Yeah. I don't know. And tattoos, that's something you could have gotten when you were young. Maybe you changed your ways. And I thought it would be cool or edgy, but it's not cool. It's not right.
Yeah. And on one hand, yeah, at first I was like, well, maybe it could be an old tattoo. Yeah. This may not be him. And then I saw the pin.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I don't like you, bud.
Alright, not cool.
Not cool at all.
Indiana, though, they had the KKK and everything. We had the biggest KKK organization around.
There's KKK rally happening soon. I've seen posts circulating about it on Facebook. It's up near Princeton, I think. Someone found a flyer for it. Got a phone number for the. Let's see. Actually, I bet I can pull it up right here on the good old computer.
Seems like history is just a cycle that repeats itself. With say not like the Holocaust happened again, but you had with the Native Americans, they were forced from their land and walked the Trail of Tears, and you had slavery. And America's guilty too. It isn't just other countries.
Oh, this is true. There it is. Honorable Sacred Knights of the Ku Klux Klan want you at the first annual Ku Klux Cookout in Madison, Indiana, September 1st. They got free hot dogs and soda pop, apparently. And they left a phone number, so if you want to, text this phone number or call this phone number and just drop all sorts of weirdness on them, feel free to do it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the number is. It is 812-777-2410. I know I got plenty of friends texting them all kinds of weird stuff. And we did double check. That is exactly who that number goes to.
It's like if you have to wear a mask or costume to hide who you are when you're doing whatever you're doing. You know,
Must not be too proud of it.
Yeah.
At least somewhere inside, you know that what you're doing ain't right. Or at least people ain't going to consider it right. And you don't want the consequences.
Definitely.
If you're going to do it, at least do it.
You know,
Like, all out. Show who you are.
Yeah. You know, I'd like to think that civilization's been moving toward better and equality, and there's still a lot of the same stuff. Like even in Europe, even in America, like America will still have racism, and Europe is still anti-Semitism.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I guess old habits are hard to break for some people. You know,
So I assume Red Flag is the big poem in here.
it's actually not even a poem. It's the essay that starts out. The
Okay.
book. I know when I titled the book, I'm like, it's not even a poem. But I like
I guess
it.
anything could technically be considered a poem.
Yeah, we have a really long prose poem or poem, I guess. But yeah, it's an
Poem.
essay.
I like that.
I got a couple of essays in there and a couple of letters. But yeah, there's poems. And other poems.
And other, yeah.
But yeah, it's a short little chapbook, and I'm donating the proceeds to the Candles Holocaust Museum.
That's really cool.
And that education center in Terre Haute.
I have never been there. I've heard it's very eye-opening experience to go there.
Yeah, Eva Kor, she's amazing, and she's an Auschwitz survivor who founded it in 1995, and she takes people over to Poland like twice a year to tour Auschwitz and the salt mines and whatnot.
That's crazy.
It's an experience. And
So you've been there.
yes, I've been the the Candles Holocaust Museum, and I've been to Auschwitz.
Yes.
And whatnot.
Thankfully, neither have I, in any sense.
You know, now it's just a museum, as as a monument. But yeah, you know, it's haunting, especially when I went. It was in November when it was foggy. And it was like straight out of a film, you know, and it was gloomy for sure. Kind of set the mood and whatnot.
And you're doing a signing of this here in a couple days. Day after tomorrow, I believe, on Saturday, the 18th.
Yes, Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Our local Barnes & Noble on Green River Road, I believe.
Yes, I'll be there at 1, about 3. And,
You can come get you a copy. He'll sign it. I won't be there, or I'd sign it too. It's not even my book. I just sign it for fun. I like signing things, really.
it's decently priced. I wanted to make it low so anybody could afford it.
How much is it?
It's $6.99 at Barnes.
That ain't bad.
On Amazon, so that's decent. It's hard to get any books that day.
Yeah.
These days for that price. And
Is it just at our Barnes & Noble here in Evansville, or is it just all Barnes & Noble?
Well, it's on
global.
It's on Barnes & Noble's website, and then locally it's in the store.
So you can order it at any Barnes & Noble.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter where you are. You can get a copy of this book at Barnes & Noble or Amazon if you like your digital books.
Yeah,
I assume there's
on
a digital
Kindle,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to work on an audio book sometime for people who don't like to read.
Oh yeah? Who you got reading your audiobook? You gonna do it yourself?
I'm contemplating it. I'll have to definitely work on my voice, but I'm thinking about it.
Tell you what, if you want me to, I'll record your audiobook. I would be more than happy to.
Oh, that'd be great.
I've always wanted to record an audiobook anyway, so that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll go over some gears, winding and whatnot.
That'd be great because it's for a good cause, and I want anybody that's interested in the book but maybe doesn't want to read.
I do that with books nowadays. I'm like, I haven't really got time to read. I'll listen to a book on the way to work.
Yeah.
Tried reading on the way to work, and that's not safe. You shouldn't do that. Don't read on the way to work. Especially not, like big old books. Ugh. Very unsafe. Thought a scroll might work better. I might be able to see through this. Nope. Couldn't see through the scroll.
It's like Audible was part of the future. You know, a lot of people thought ebooks were. I don't really care for ebooks as much, though. It is available on Kindle for people who do like it. I just kind of hurts my eyes, but audio, I do enjoy.
Well, now they got like the nice soft screen look to some of those Kindles that look just like paper. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's good. I know, like, if you're reading in the dark and you're staring at a bright screen, it kind of can do a number on your eyes.
Well, they got stuff for that now too. It's on some phones and stuff. You know about that yet? I got this. Let's see here.
Well, you turn
Comfort
the
View
down or something.
Gets rid of that like bright yellow light, so you just got that soft blue.
Oh, that's cool.
You can turn the brightness down on top of that, and then yeah, you got a nice reading screen.
That would definitely be helpful.
But so you big into poems? You like poems?
Oh yes, I've been writing poetry for quite a few years now. I've always wanted to write a novel, but for some reason poetry came at me, and I kind of went with that. So
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm trying to get. I'm 3/4 of the way through my novel, but poetry still calls my name, and so I get to that when I can.
Who's your favorite poet?
Favorite poet? I really enjoy, Anne Sexton and confessionals poets like Sylvia Plath, but there's all kinds. I mean, I like modern poets too, like Marcus Wicker, and I know the names aren't coming to me right now, but I've read a lot of poets, and they're
What's
really
your favorite poem?
Favorite poem? I really do enjoy Funeral Blues by W.H. Auden.
Okay.
Where he's like, stop all the clocks, like his romantic interest or his lover or whatever passes away, and the world keeps going on even though he's in his grief and he's mourning, and it just doesn't seem fair that everybody else can be moving on with their lives and he cannot. So I really do enjoy that poem a great amount. Because it does seem like that when something happens in your life, someone dies or you lose your job or something.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why does no one else feel the way I do? It's not fair. And so poetry is a good way of getting those type of emotions out. And songwriting. I mean, I really like music, so poetry kind of seemed like a transition from music.
Those go pretty well hand in hand most of the time.
Yes.
What is your favorite intersection?
My favorite intersection? Like on the streets?
Yeah. I feel like everybody has a favorite intersection, and no one ever talks about it. They're very underappreciated things. Because without intersections, you don't get anywhere. You go two directions, forward and backward. That's it.
I guess I really like the one near where I live in Newburgh, because people used to my friends when we were in high school would drive on Martin Road, and there's like hardly anything ever going on, so they used to drive faster.
Yeah.
And but then there's a stop sign that where Lincoln is, that intersection, so Martin and Lincoln, but it's on a hill, so you hope that there's no one else coming, so you can kind of just not have to stop as much.
Yeah.
Which you need to stop, but it's like, especially if it's icy, you really have to rev it up to get up that hill to get through the intersection. So I guess that one point sticks out of my mind for some reason. I used to not like the Bell and Oak Grove intersection because before they got the stoplight and everything in there, it's like everybody would come at once and you would know who goes, who's supposed to go.
There are two intersections. I don't know the streets. They're on the deep west side of Evansville, and they're two 5-way intersections, and I love them because 5-way intersections are just weird. It's like so much going on if you've got people occupying all goes at once.
I think they're working toward doing roundabouts more. I know they got a roundabout in Newburgh and USI, and Boonville's working on one.
Yeah, we got 2 of them out in McCutcheonville.
And
out
people
on
were
Oak Hill
kind of
Road.
confused if they've never been on a roundabout. You got to get in there, and as soon as you yield to the left, you're good to get in there. Everybody else yields to you. But they're like, what do I do? There's 2 lanes, and everybody's going every which way.
Yeah.
It's just a new thing for some people.
Don't get hit by anybody coming, and go. That's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah.
Get out whenever you want. Keep going around. I don't think there's a law against that. Just go around till you want out. Chill for a little while, and then leave.
I remember when I used to live on the west side and Broadway and Barker Avenue. They had where Broadway is. It used to be, I don't know, that's just a regular stoplight, and then it was a flashing red light. And I thought one time we thought, okay, the electricity went out, or they need to fix it, and then it just never was. I guess it's a stop sign now, but with the light where you're supposed to stop. I remember a lot of people were confused, like, what's going on? When do I get the green? But I guess that's been like that for years now, where now it's just a stop sign.
You were on Broadway at one point. You had to hook up on pizza then. Get that Broadway pizza.
They had the tattoo parlor and everything. I liked it over there. It's a neat spot.
So I'm asking you all the questions. That doesn't seem fair. You got any questions for me? I never ask anybody that. I never ask if they want to ask me anything.
Well, what kind of books do you like to read, I guess?
Fantasy books. Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter. You got the Aragon. Those are pretty good. The movie wasn't very good from what I hear. I didn't watch it. I heard people didn't like it though, and it hasn't gotten a sequel, so I would assume.
There's some fantasy writers around town you might like. I don't know if you've heard of them, but like Jean Knight Pace, she writes fantasy like Grey Wolf and Grey Lord.
I know about that book. I keep meaning to get me a copy.
And she's getting ready to come out with audiobooks and this fall, I believe. So
because I've talked to her at some local conventions.
Yeah. And then there's C.A. Jameson. She kind of has the science fiction thing going down. And Terry Dunsterville, or T.I. Dunsterville, with her Warlocks of Evergreen. So
those two are usually sharing a table at the conventions.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a little bit of everything from local authors. I mean, when you got poetry and the Holocaust, Mike Wicker, he did the foreword for my book. He's written a lot of spy thrillers set around World War II and the Cold War.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and he's actually got an event this weekend too at the Germanium Manicore. He's I guess it's a benefit for the place on Fulton Avenue. So that's neat. He just always gets a lot of books out, and I always enjoy reading them.
Just pumping them out.
It's something to aim for, as an inspiration. I did notice, and that's kind of a reason with my book too, why it's so short, is some people's attention span's kind of going when it comes to reading these days.
We all got ADD now.
Mike's first book was like really, really big, a real thick one. And then I guess you notice this time, they get shorter, and you can get a couple of them out in the year and everything. And
pretty soon he'll put out a book and I'll have one page that said it happened. Oh, good! I'm so glad. Happy to hear.
Yeah, but I thought these chapbooks. I mean, especially because I'm going to do more chapbooks in the future that have benefits for different organizations.
That's cool. I really like that you're doing that. That's a awesome thing.
Yeah. I think that making them where there are fewer pages and making them cheaper, instead of here's a chapbook, still give me $15 instead of a full length. I can get more releases out of it and benefit different ones instead of just cramming them all into one book and waiting years for another book to come out. Because, I would like to get our chapbook out, maybe next year, if not this year. I'm kind of just giving Red Flag and Other Poems it's time to shine. But I wouldn't mind having the novel out next year, depending on how things go. I'm going to finish it up. And
I wish you luck in that.
Oh, thank you. But I've heard people say, I just don't have time to really read. I said, well, for one thing, this is poems. And for two, it's like a day read, even for people who don't read much. It's real short. But even, if you take more of the day, it's got an important message. And Yeah, like I said, audiobook for people who just can't stand to look at paper. Like
It's a decently short book. It's got a good message. It's cheap, and it benefits a great cause.
definitely.
There's really no reason not to get a copy at all that I can think of, unless you don't like the color red. In which case,
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
big
sorry, you're a
problem.
bull. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I've had some people that were kind of thrown off by the fact that there was a swastika on the cover. I said, well, it's crossed out.
Yeah, it's a big
That's
nose.
it's against the swastika. I'm not saying yay Nazis. I'm saying let's not have this. This is bad for our
saying
society.
nay Nazis.
Yeah. And the thing that's interesting, because I travel and my brother travels, but you cannot sell this book in Germany because they don't allow swastikas in Germany. So if I ever wanted a copy to be sold there,
You have to have one without a swastika.
I'd have to have a newer alternative edition, and that's it's kind of strange. I get it because you don't want to glorify Nazism
Yes.
or anything, especially in Germany, but at the same time, you don't want to kind of brush it under the rug and say, yeah, we're just not thinking about it. That's what a lot of people, they say.
There was a Family Guy skit about that once. They were like on a tour in Germany or something, and they're looking at the pamphlet. It's like from 19 whatever to 19 whatever. It shows nothing happened. Isn't that kind of when the whole world... Nothing happened! We were having tea! It's like, oh, okay.
And it's like, no, they actually have a lot of monuments in Germany,
Yeah.
though, that make it where it's hard to forget. And I get people don't want stuff shoved down their throat all every day. They're kind of like, yeah, we're guilty. We want to kind of move on, and I get it. But, they have the museums. I've heard recently that they have rebuilt synagogues, but there are no services at the synagogues. So, the Jews come and they're like, we're glad you have the synagogues, but when's the service? And they said, well, I guess they're just for looks. I mean, a church without a congregation is just a building. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit because I talked to Walter Summers, who's another speaker at Candles, and he fled Germany around. He lived around the Munich area in Bavaria. And he was about 18 or 19, and he's seen what was happening with the Kristallnacht, with the breaking of the glass with the Jewish businesses. And he told his family, he's like, we really ought to find one of our cousins that live in America and get out of here. Now, Eva Kor, she wasn't as fortunate because she was about 8 or 9 and heard Hitler on the radio. I was like, that sounds scary. We should go. And her parents were like, yeah, we're far enough out and Hungary in a small village. No one's ever going to come for us, and they didn't want. It's hard to leave your home.
Yeah,
they had all their assets tied into the farm, and so they just stayed and waited it out as things progressed worse. And then by the time they thought maybe they should leave, the Nazis were already out by their door, making sure they couldn't leave, and that's terrible. Now she's the only survivor of her immediate family. I mean, her twin survived the Holocaust, but complications from the experiments that Dr. Mengele did made it where her kidneys wouldn't progress past the age of 10. Ava gave her a kidney, but other things that maybe could have happened made it where she passed away prematurely, and that's sad.
That is unfortunate.
So, but she found a way to forgive the Nazis for what she did, or what they did.
Yeah.
To not for their benefit, but to help with her healing process. So I think that despite the Holocaust and everything that is talked about when it comes to Candles and Eva Kor, she also teaches that if something bad happens to you, and with any young people, older people, maybe forgiveness or not forgetting, but forgiving can kind of help in the healing process. And
forgiveness isn't for the forgiven, as they say.
Definitely, and other Mengele twins were kind of frustrated. She said, "I'm not speaking for other people. I'm speaking for myself." And they said, "Why do you have to tell anybody you're forgiving them?" She said, "Well, if you had the cure for diabetes or cancer, wouldn't you want to tell people?
Yeah.
Why would you want to not just keep it to yourself. So that's kind of what she's been doing, is just trying to help people kind of get lifted, get more peace, more happiness, and no room for sadness. Now she dances on the selection platform at Auschwitz every year, and
That's awesome.
it's cool. And she's got a couple. But she's actually got a documentary that just came out this year that will be airing in October.
Okay.
So for people who prefer movies, I mean, she's been in documentaries, but this one's strictly about her and her
experience.
story. So that's
really cool.
to check out. And that's just called EVA. So that's easy to remember.
Tim Heerdink's book, Red Flag and Other Poems, is out now. You can get it on Amazon or at a Barnes & Noble website or a local Evansville Barnes & Noble store. He's having a signing at our local store this Saturday, August 18th, from 1 to 3.
Yes.
1 to 3. So head down, check it out, get a copy, have him sign it. I might stop by and sign it too, just for the heck of it. Tim, great having you on the show.
That's great talking to you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, great talking to you as well. As always, my breakfast is over. That means the show's over. Show ends the same way it does every day. Zach Eats Breakfast. Peace out.
Nothing seems real, so what's the deal? Why does it matter to me? Drowning in dreams, snoring in screams, this is where I wanna be. I am a ball, lost in the tall labyrinth of weeds. Lestly forget my cigarette, satisfy my needs. Sinking to the couch with no way to get out. Oh, bygones by. What can a liar do when he has no teeth to lie through? Maybe it'll all work out. Face is a mess, stones on my chest, still I yell more weight. Houses will burn, leaves they will turn, still I can't think straight. Booze on my breath, I laugh to death at my own mistakes. Sleep is a joke, and I'm still broke from all the shit that I take. Sinking to the couch with no way to get out. Oh, bygones by. What can a liar do when he has no teeth to lie through? Maybe it'll all work out.
So a horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Why the long face?" Horse says, "Well, my kids hate me. I was just fired from my job and my wife wants a divorce." Sad horse. Good morning, everybody. It's Zach Eats Breakfast. I forgot the breakfast. That's new. I've never done that. We can fix that real quick. Real quick.